Good day, my dear learners. I welcome you all to our video lesson on critique writing. At the end of this video lesson, you should be able to define and describe critique writing, identify features and elements of critique writing, and compose an independent critique of a chosen selection. As a springboard, I want you to arrange the jumbled letters in each item to form the correct word within 5 seconds. If you're ready, say, "I'm ready." Alright, let's get the ball rolling.
First item. What's the word? It's critique. That's correct. Second item. What's the word? It's introduction. You're right. Third item. What's the word? It's body. That's correct. Fourth item. What's the word? It's analysis. You're right. Fifth item. What's the word? It's conclusion. That's correct.
In this video lesson, you will learn how to compose an independent critique of a chosen selection. But first, you have to know what is a critique. So when we say critique, it is a paper that gives a critical assessment of a book or an article. A critique is a systematic analysis of a piece of literature that discusses its validity and evaluates its worth. Its main purpose is not informational, but analytic and persuasive. In analyzing the content and context within which the book or article was written, the writer of a critique argues whether it is worth reading or not. Critical analysis follows a format. The template in writing a critique is that it should have an introduction, body, analysis, and conclusion.
In the introduction, you must state the title of the work, the author's name, and the date of publication. Outline the main ideas of the book and identify the author's thesis and state your own thesis statement and your main idea about the work. Say for instance, we will critique the text The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Let's assume that you have already read that story. So in the introduction, you may write, "Today's book review will be on The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Growing up as a child, this was one of my favorite books with a very important life lesson to learn." Next is the body part. In the body, you have to briefly outline the main ideas of the book, article, or film. It should involve who, what, where, when, why, and how. And you may also choose to discuss the structure, style, or point of view. Going back to the story The Little Prince, here's the sample critique under body. The Little Prince tells the story of a pilot stranded in the desert fixing his aeroplane until one day he meets a little boy, the Little Prince. The Little Prince tells the pilot many stories of his magical journey from his little planet and of his encounters with different grown-ups. The story focuses on how grown-ups are only interested in figures or matters of very little importance in life, in which the little prince cannot understand. The story highlights how most grown-ups miss out on the simple things in life, such as friendship, love, and the beauty of the world because they are too occupied with gaining wealth and power. They are tricked into believing that figures or having money is important, but their life has no meaning. Let's now move on to the analysis part. Here, you need to critically state what you like and do not like about the book, article, or film. Explain your ideas with the specific examples from the book, article, or film. Assess whether the author has achieved their intended goal, and the analysis may look at whether the work is focused, understandable, persuasive, clear, informative, original, exciting, interesting, well written, directed at the appropriate audience, meaning, and purpose, well researched with appropriate conclusions, and more. The analysis is made up of several different paragraphs. Again, here's a sample of a critique under the analysis part using the text The Little Prince. What I like most about The Little Prince is the key message of it is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. It teaches the reader that it is important to look beneath the surface to truly understand something, which most people fail to do as they are only interested in the face value of something, as demonstrated at the very beginning of the story. This is a very important message for any child or grown-up to understand, in which the book demonstrates very beautifully. The story writing itself is kept very simple, with no rhythm or rhyme, but the imagination and maturity of the story keeps the reader interested, along with the use of drawings by the author to help the reader visualize some things which may be unfamiliar. And in the conclusion, you must restate your thesis in new words. Summarize your main ideas if possible with new and stronger words, and include a call to action for your reader. Again, we will be using the text The Little Prince. Overall, I would recommend The Little Prince to all children over the age of 8, as younger readers may fail to understand certain words or the key message being portrayed. They may also find the book too serious, lacking any fun or humor, while older readers will definitely appreciate the beautiful message in this old tale.
Alright, this time it's your turn to write a critique of the selection, The Training of a Knight, using the guide I will be giving. You will evaluate the text in terms of context, author's intention, your reactions, literary devices, literary technique, and ending of the story.
In context, you have to ask yourself, what genre is it? Adventure, science fiction, fantasy, or literary? In author's intention, you have to ask yourself, what is the author trying to accomplish with the story? If the story is meant to be funny and isn't, or is meant to be a morality tale but doesn't quite pull it off, then it has failed in at least one respect. On this part, your reactions, you have to ask yourself, what are the feelings, emotions, or reactions I have while reading this? So you have to note your reactions as you read. Either keep a spare piece of paper with you or mark your reactions on the margins of the text. Here on literary devices, you have to ask yourself, what figures of speech used in the story and their purpose? Does the author use simile, metaphor, etc.? Here on literary technique, you have to ask yourself, do these literary techniques make the reading experience more enjoyable or strengthen the story? And on the ending of the story, you have to ask yourself, does the ending resolve the plot and bring closure to the crisis of the characters? So here, decide how the ending relates both to the story as a whole and its beginning.
It's assessment time! I will be reading the statements once and write the letter of the correct answer within 5 seconds. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Number 1. A critique essentially refers to what for an article review? A. How clever the title is. B. How strong your thesis. Or C. How you evaluate the accuracy, strengths, and weaknesses of an article. The correct answer is letter C. Very good. Number 2. What is a good way to analyze and evaluate an article for an article review? A. Plagiarize. B. Ask questions. Or C. Use big words. The correct answer is letter B. Good job. Number 3. What is a thesis statement? A. The main idea of the essay. B. A summary. Or C. The theme of the essay. The correct answer is letter A. Amazing. Number 4. What is the first step in critiquing a book or article? A. Write your reactions. B. Note the author's main point or thesis statement. Or C. Begin by reading the book or article and annotate as you read. The correct answer is letter B. That's great. Last but not the least, number 5. What is the main purpose of a critique? A. To argue. B. To persuade. Or C. To analyze and persuade. The correct answer is letter C. Very good.
Did you get a perfect score? That's great! I hope you learned something in this video lesson. This is Ma'am Joriel at your service.